Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. This is day 2 of the Battle of Gettysburg, playing as the Union on Legendary Mode of Ultimate General Civil War, and we are now on the Union left. And just kind of curious to see how it's going to build the forces for me. So it looks like this is what we're looking at. So we've got, historically, what we would have been looking at would have been the 2nd Corps up here on the northern part of Cemetery Ridge. This would be the position that, so the 3rd Corps under Sickles was ordered to take this position here. And so Dan Sickles, early on July 2nd, he decides that he likes the position out here better. So in defiance of orders, he advances his entire corps out to this area right here. Now, in doing so, even though he disobeyed orders, he actually might have done the Union Army a service, because even though his own corps got routed, this was the plan of attack, was that Longstreet was going to be launching an attack on the Union left, and they kind of ran into Sickles' corps much sooner than they expected to. But what Sickles did by doing this was, number one, he left a gap in the line up here, which had to be saved by the 2nd Minnesota, or was it the 1st Minnesota? And then, of course, he left Little Round Top undefended, which, of course, led to the well-known story of the 20th Maine and Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. So we're going to pull everybody back to that defensive position as Longstreet's forces, McLaw's and Hood's divisions come in and start attacking. We're definitely going to go ahead and occupy the fortifications on Little Round Top. We'll put a 24-pounder unit there. And I'm also going to send Stewart over to help occupy that position. In fact, what I think I'll do is I'll leave Darden out, and we'll put this 2,000-man brigade there instead. We'll go ahead and break off some skirmishers from those units. I'm going to go ahead and put some skirmishers over here on Big Round Top, at least to start. This is Devil's Den right here. I think we'll throw some guys down there too. Maybe even right there. I've actually never done this before. Oh, he's got skirmishers there already. Never mind that. I haven't typically occupied those positions. I'll pull these 20-pounders back a little bit. I feel like he may not even attack this area up here. So I'm wondering if it might not make sense for me to kind of pull some units down a little bit. I'll leave skirmishers there in the center. My skirmishers are already... Oh, he occupied that position too. Interesting. So let's pull these guys out. Ouch. So then historically what happens is the 20th Maine holds this position right here, kind of facing south, and even a little bit to the east. And then the Union position kind of wraps around Little Round Top and then runs right up Cemetery Ridge. And then once it goes through town, then the fishhook kind of ends over at Culp's Hill. All right, we're just going to go ahead and reattach Loomis's skirmishers for now. And then we'll wait for this to go down. A lot of men coming this way. My goodness. We're definitely going to be heavily outnumbered. I think I might send Scott over to help. Bring Graham down a little bit. Maybe even bring these 10-pounders over. Because if he hits me with a melee attack, I might have a hard time holding him off with this many men. I'm going to pull these supplies down a little bit closer this way because I have a feeling these guys are going to be firing a lot. And of course that's what happened to the 20th Maine over here, is eventually they got low on ammunition, and that was why they had to charge down the hill and do what they did. Man, that's a lot of men coming down on this position. See, if we just shoot it out, I feel okay, but it's the melee attacks that I worry about. Oh, I hate fortifications because they always end up getting flanked for some stupid reason. It shouldn't happen, but it does. And of course, again, this has nothing to do with whether or not I win the battle. I could give up this position and be fine, as long as I hold South Cemetery Ridge and inflict more casualties on him. Alright, let's see if we can get these skirmishers out on Law's flank. Oh, Kershaw's coming that way. Just get a little fire on him, and if I can do that, then it makes it a little easier here. He's bringing up a lot of men. Even Barksdale. Now Barksdale, some of these units actually attacked traditionally up closer this way. The wheat field, the peach orchard were over there. But he's throwing everything. This is more like what General Hood wanted to do, which was he wanted to go around the right of the Union rather than attacking right here. Because the ground was so terrible, they had to attack across. Of course, Hood was severely wounded, lost the use of an arm. And I believe he may have lost a leg later in the war. I can't remember for sure, but for some reason I feel like that was the case. Alright, so far so good. We're just not going to occupy this fortification. Darn skirmishers. Right, let's pull back. Oh, look at Law. You jerk. How are we doing on supply? Looks like we're good. Alright, let's get these skirmishers reattached before they get wiped out. Northern half of my force isn't even engaging right now. How's Loomis doing? Eh, he's doing pretty good, even though he's out in the open. I'm gonna bring Graham down. Get on Sam's flank. Oh, didn't even have to. He got routed first. It's alright. We can do the same to Benning. Ah, reinforcements. He's getting close over here. Get these guys reattached. Not a lot of reinforcements, but reinforcements. All right, so we've lost about 1,000 men. We've inflicted 3,700 casualties. And I already have a 20,000 man advantage overall in the army, so that's good news. We'll take that. Looks like that's about the extent of the action here, so I think we'll go ahead and drop out unless something happens and then come back for the next phase. So now comes Anderson's division, and he's going to come at Cemetery Ridge. And I did, as I mentioned in the part 1 video of this battle, I did make a few videos on my last trip to Gettysburg. I didn't have a lot of time, just a few hours, but I did shoot some video along Cemetery Ridge. And I talked a little bit about part of Anderson's attack, so I'll put the link in the description below for my videos from Cemetery Ridge. Looking at a couple of locations down here to the south, I visited the monument to the Irish Brigade, who were in the 2nd Corps, and they were part of defending the central part of Cemetery Ridge. And then, of course, the Minnesota soldiers who saved the center of the Union line while buying time for reinforcements to arrive. And then up in the area around where Pickett's charge happened. I should probably bring my general down here. General Grant. I probably should have had him down here the whole time. The funny thing is, I still don't see Anderson's attack coming. Here comes some more reinforcements. I'm going to send Stanley up that way. Ooh, he actually broke through there a little bit. That's okay. Not a huge deal. That's why we have reinforcements. Ooh. What's kind of cool here is I see General Graham is a brigade commander here. It's probably not the same guy, but there was a General Graham who was a brigade commander who fought in this kind of area of the battle. He's really pushing through on my... We're going to go ahead and send Stanley down here, redirect them. He's going to temporarily take little rounds up. He won't hold it though. Pull back. I'm not going to deal with these skirmishers. At least not out in the open. Get some skirmishers down here. I don't like this at all. Maybe no attacks coming on the north at all. Oh, here it comes. Alright, so let's take a look here. I've lost 2,500 men, inflicted at least 6,000 casualties, maybe more. I've got cavalry, but we haven't seen them yet. They must be in the unit that hasn't arrived on the field. My last reinforcements. He is just throwing everything he's got at Little Round Top. There's the reinforcements, and that's the cavalry I was talking about. They're not going to do me a lot of good up here in these woods, so I'm going to send them out in the open somewhere. Hey, Evander Law, surprise, surprise. I think you're about to get wiped out, sir. Let's watch this. Still got 2 hours to go on this phase, and then we go back to the north, I believe. I think we can wipe Law out. I'm going to advance some of this infantry out ahead of my cavalry. And then we'll see what we can do with them. Did Law break? We must have completely destroyed him. Oh, Graham. Actually, this might be perfect. Oh yeah, Posey, you're done, buddy. Unless you get back to those woods and manage to escape. take out these skirmishers too. Where's Pender's division? Oh, he's coming up over here. And we'll go ahead and pull back. Gotta watch this artillery. I actually want my cavalry to break to this side. We'll get them back here, we'll let them recover. And then we'll come up and start hitting these batteries. Okay. Numbers are pretty even right now. Except I've taken out 13,000 of the men that he's got on the field compared to just 4,600 of mine. Of course, that counts some casualties from yesterday because Pender's division's on the field now, and that was a unit that I engaged on July 1st. Wipe these skirmishers out. Alright, how's our condition going on our cavalry? Not too bad. I don't want to come down here because these guys are all too close, this infantry. Alright, we wiped out those skirmishers. Now let's deal with Robertson. So instead, I think I might come up here and hit Perrin, or maybe Lane. These units that are kind of out there. Now, Perrin's got another unit right behind him. So it might be Lane. We'll see. So while this was happening, during the actual battle, there was also an attack happening on the Union right flank over on Culp's Hill. And that was kind of the plan, was to attack both flanks, hoping that the Union wouldn't then be able to kind of reinforce from one side to the other. But of course, they held at Culp's Hill pretty well, so they were able to bring some reinforcements from that side. That was the beauty of the Union defensive position here, is that because he had such a tight defensive position, he had great interior lines, it was really easy to bring units from one side to the other with very little time. Gotta watch, he's sending Perrin after these guys, and a couple of these cavalry units don't have a real large amount of men left. Alright, let's get these guys out of here. Yikes. Keep moving, boys. Alright, another skirmisher unit wiped out. Now we can move forward and start hitting these guys that are kind of sitting down here in this valley by Devil's Den. Okay, we got a really tight window here that we can escape through. I think that's pretty much going to do it for the fighting on this part of the field. All right, we'll go ahead and drop out and come back when things open up again. All right, we go back to the camp before we fight the defense of Culp's Hill, and here's the situation now. I've got 50,000 men, 237 guns, and we're looking at about 29,600 for the enemy as we get into the next phase of this battle. All right, 2.5 hours to defend Culp's Hill. Let me pause for a second here because I want to make sure I don't have any artillery sitting out front in a really awkward position or anything. I've got to be careful about him sneaking into this area here. Oh yeah, supplies sitting out there. We don't like that. 10-pounders, I want to pull them back a little bit. I think we're good otherwise. Let me get some skirmishers off of these guys. Plug them down in here. Same with Trengilly Titans. I'm just going to cover this area here. Here we go. This should be a pretty easy defense. Culp's Hill is a super strong defensive position, and they were entrenched up there. But a lot of men coming at me in the woods. And here come my reinforcements. And of course the general shows up first, which is dumb because now he could get shot at. Let's get this cavalry out of here. Same with the supplies. Alright, I'm going to throw these skirmishers up here now. This should be pretty easy, this part of the fight. So I'm going to keep it on fast sim at least for the time being. Pull these 24-pounders back just a hair. Oh boy, I did have some 10-pounders that were out front. I didn't notice that. I thought I pulled all of them back. Actually, I'm gonna swing Butler. I don't know that he's got anything else out here. So maybe we can sneak up and hit this battery. Yep, we got him. Nothing else back here, apparently. Oh, this is beautiful. The Union had such a strong defensive position at Gettysburg. It was so ill-conceived and just really, I don't know what Lee was thinking. I mean, I know people have debated that. Was it that he was coming off of victories at places like Chancellorsville and Fredericksburg and just felt like his army could do no wrong? Some people have speculated that Lee had had a heart attack during the Gettysburg campaign and kind of wasn't really himself. Of course, part of it was he doesn't have Stonewall Jackson anymore. This is his first major fight without Jackson. And he expected things of some of his other generals that he probably shouldn't have expected of those people. I don't know. But whatever it was, I mean, there was no good reason at all for him to have chosen to fight here once the Union had this position that they held. I'm going to bring Merritt out. We're going to kind of deal with these guys. Got 35 minutes to go here. Now look at these supplies just kind of taunting me. I'm not going to take the bait though. He's trying to melee attack up here. Not working though. Alright, we need supply. Oh, I didn't realize I had sharpshooters there. I should have been making use of those. Alright, I think we're probably on to July 3rd now. We can probably let this play out a little bit, and I think I will. Inflict some more casualties. Got about a 5,000 man advantage right now. As long as I'm inflicting way more casualties than I'm taking, then it's worth continuing the fight. Alright, you know what? I've had it with your taunting, sir. I don't know why he does this, but I am not complaining. That supply still got half, so. And look at these ones over here. I'll go ahead and grab those. The advantage is a little over 6,000 men now. So we'll keep that going a while. I'm gonna grab these supplies and then I'll go ahead and drop out for entertainment's sake and come back if anything else interesting happens or when we get to the next phase. I had to cross the water there. Might have a hard time here. Yeah, we're gonna run into a battery. Okay, never mind that. Alright, no sooner had I dropped out than it automatically pushed me to the next day's fight anyway. So we'll get on to July 3rd now. He's down to just 14,000 men at this point against 48. Wow, this is going to be interesting. I can't imagine he's actually going to... Oh, he's going to continue the attack on Culp's Hill now, which is what happened. There was a continued effort on the morning of July 3rd at Culp's Hill to kind of continue that fight. Of course, I'm in a slightly different position now, and it's a lot easier to see because it's not nighttime anymore. I'm going to do this for 3 hours. I don't like Race having to go up against all these skirmishers like this. I'm not going to use Tidball because he's too low on numbers, but I will take these other two units of cavalry out. See if we can deal with these skirmishers. Actually, there's no reason to hold that position at all, so maybe we'll just chill back here. Oh, come on, race. Get out of there. Such a bad spot. We're going to probably wipe out some of these units that are attacking. He's down to 11,000 men. Alright, let's see how many of these units get wiped out before this phase of the battle is over. Down to 10,600 men. I think most of these units, except for a couple of the bigger ones, are just going to cease to exist. Okay, I want to bring this cav up close. And when Stewart gets in a little closer, I'm going to spring them on him. If he gets closer. He might get routed before he does. Perfect. Nice. Ooh, skirmishers are getting into my cavalry's flank. I gotta get them out. I lost control of Ferguson. Oh, don't break that way. Come on. No, then you're gonna run right into those other skirmishers. No. God. That's so frustrating. Because now I'm gonna lose these guys. Because they broke the wrong way, and they're going to be right in the path of these skirmishers. There goes another 40 men. Alright, we wiped out Stewart. Alright, I'm going to have to come up and help protect these guys. Maybe not, because now they just lost their commander. Oh, they're stuck in the water. I have not managed my cavalry that well in this series. But you'd think I'd be doing better with them after playing a whole campaign with just cavalry. Oh, they're stuck in the water. But I've gotten way too greedy, way too aggressive with my cavalry. If they take one more volley from those skirmishers, they might. I mean, that's a new unit, so it's not a huge deal. They're 0 stars, but still. Okay. Fitz-Lee's cavalry spot. Oh boy, that's a problem. Ferguson's done. Yeah, I lost him. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. He's down to under 10,000 men now. A couple more units have been destroyed. These skirmishers are going to be next. I'm going to send Schimmelpfennig out here to go after Hayes. Perfect. Now we fire on him with 2 units. and try to capture these guys. They're probably just gonna dissolve rather than get captured. Oh, we got Gordon back here. Yeah, they dissolved. Alright. That puts him down to 8,500 men. I don't know how far I'll get in the next 47 minutes, but we're going to give it a try. Wow, Ohio Outlaws. 2,000 kills, 600 deaths. You know what? Let's go ahead and give Trengilly Titans a turn. So we'll bring them forward. We're going to drop Ohio Outlaws out of this position, which might actually draw him in to an attempt on an assault. No, he's not going to do it. Alright, I think that's about all the action here. Let's see what happens next. Here we go with Pickett's charge, and he's actually got more men than I expected him to for this, so we'll see how this goes. Alright. First things first, let's protect some of my guns. Actually, we can keep them there. I'll just move the line up. And this is really the only objective that matters right here. South Seminary Ridge. Or actually, oh, Seminary Ridge, yeah. Alright, we gotta hold everything else. Seminary Ridge is over here. So we've held all the Union objectives. I'm going to pull these 10-pounders out and put 24-pounders in there. Try to target one battery at a time so I can completely wipe them out and then start dealing with another one. Here it comes. Looks like Pettigrew's gonna do Pickett's charge all by his lonesome. Interesting strategy. Or to quote one of my favorite movies, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Alright, that one's gone. Now we'll focus on Alexander. Man. Is he even going to attempt an assault? Numbers are pretty even. I've got him by 1,200 men right now. Alright. Well, you don't need to watch me just shoot it out with artillery, so when the attack comes, we'll come back. Here it comes. They're all moving forward. Here's Pickett's division right here, Kemper, Armistead, and Garnett. Now, historically, Kemper and Garnett were up front, and Armistead was behind them, which is why Armistead was able to actually be one of the only units to actually break through the stone wall and temporarily get a foothold in the middle of the Union lines, because the two ahead of him took the brunt of the casualties, and then they pushed through, but eventually they were pushed back as well. Garnett was missing and probably killed to the point where he couldn't be identified. Armistead was mortally wounded. Kemper was thought to be mortally wounded, but actually survived his wound. Armistead's going to occupy the fortifications. Interesting. I'm going to pull Merritt out. This is kind of cool. I've actually got Stannard's brigade right here, which is pretty darn close to where he actually was. He came out, and as Pickett's charge passed in front and they kind of hit these lines right here, Stannard actually came out right here and got on his flank. So we're actually going to do exactly what Stannard really did. That was the Vermont boys, the ones known as the Paper Collar Brigade. I've got him by about 2,000 men now. Oh, well, he's a 0-star unit. That makes sense. He would get thrown back a little bit there. Oh, jeez. So this is the area known as the Angle, and that's one of the places I made a video. You can see that in the link in the description below. Ooh, we just wiped out one of those brigades. Alright, advancing out there probably wasn't the best thing to do. It took too much artillery fire. Make sure everybody stays supplied. Alright, 4,000 man advantage now. Taking out 30 of his guns. I'm gonna go take out this battery. He might get one shot off on me. Meanwhile, these guys are going to get lit up in the center. All right, Stanley, get out of there. Yeah, I've got a 8,000 man advantage now. Ooh, Pettigrew actually made it to the lines and actually temporarily hit the Wolverines before he completely dissolved. So now it's a 10,000 man advantage. that artillery out here is what keeps me from really being able to get out here on this flank effectively. How many men's he got left? Still got 16,000 men, so he's got some hiding back there. I'm going to advance these guys forward. There's only 25 minutes left, though. But I do think I get a chance to advance. Which was that was actually something that the Confederates expected, because when Pickett's charge failed miserably, Lee was concerned, and he tried to get the men organized over here on Seminary Ridge, because he thought the Union might counterattack, but of course they didn't. All right, we're going to July 4th now. So now here's what the situation looks like. Now I really don't have to do anything here, and in fact, the time goes down pretty fast when you don't. As you can see, it started with 1, and then it's like, okay, you can finish right here, or you can advance. He's only got 15,000 men. So this could be a real opportunity for me. But honestly, I'm pretty content to just end it right there. It's been pretty bloody already. So there we go. 13,500 men lost. Look, he ended up having 83,500 men in that battle. I wondered, because the first day I had this 20,000 man advantage, and then it seemed like no matter how many casualties I inflicted, it never got any better than 20,000 men, because he kept on getting reinforcements. So he actually ended up with significantly more men than me. So I lost, when you count everything, maybe, what, 15,000 men? A little bit more than that. And we inflicted 60,000 casualties, so about 4 to 1. I'll definitely take that. We grabbed a ton of guns. Well, not a ton, but, what, 5,000, 6,000 of them. 7,000, I guess. Let's look at the officers. Mostly promotions. Didn't lose any. I think I did lose a few, but I replaced them in camp, so that's why they're not being reflected here. 24 pounders all had huge days, 3 of them with over 3,000 casualties inflicted, so pretty good day. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so we gained 9,000 men. Let's take a look at the size of the army now. I've got 19,000 there, 14, so 33. I've got about 39,000 plus another 26 here. We are coming up on one of my least favorite battles, the Battle of Chickamauga, though I will say it's much better as the Union than as the Confederates at Chickamauga. So we've got one battle to fight first, Bayou Force. His army's down to 46 to 51,000, but of course, again, doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. I've got 100 reputation, so I've got some to spend here. Got our first Springfield 1863s showing up now. So I'll have to decide where I want to spend that. I think we're going to go with a couple points in medicine this time around. And we'll get the army refit. And just looking ahead to Bayou Force real quick. We get to take 15 brigades into this one, going up against 27,000 men, but we'll see what that actually looks like once I get my army fit. So, use the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Obviously, there were some things I could have cleaned up and done a lot better there, but overall, I'm very happy with 4 to 1 casualties at Gettysburg. I could have probably pursued his army and done more damage, but in the long run, I'm not sure how much that would have helped me. It just would have brought my numbers down more, and he probably still would have ended up getting a bunch of reinforcements. So I'll stay pretty content with how things ended up. So please hit that thumbs up. Please comment. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And be watching. I am excited. This is the week that Anno 1800 releases, and I know a lot of you are anxious about that game and excited about it, and I am too. So we're going to dive into that later this week once I get my hands on it. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you again soon.